Yep, I had to do this dedication toward the stretch. That's a good thing I had to do for this last show. I'm gonna go on back to do I'm gonna go do the next video on myself playing Far Cry 6 again. I'll play it in that other video. Another video that I'm gonna do. We're here for the legacy of Randy Stretch Walker. This is dedicated to that man. This man was in this in this group. It's called the Live Squad. It was him, his brother Majesty, and a few other folks. This is his recollection. This is his recollection. Get the fuck out of my way. Move, you fucking assholes. I don't feel like fucking around with these people. I'm gonna close this motherfucker. I can't deal with this shit no more. I ain't got no time to donate shit. I'm sorry for the interruptions. Okay. We'll talk about this man who was in the live squad, Randy Walker, aka Stretch. Uh, we're gonna take you to his recollection here. This man is better known. Yeah, this man was, he his especially. Let me tell you about Randy Walker. He is better known by his stage name, Stretch. See, there's a picture of Stretch when he was featured in in Mac Mall's video, Mac Mall's music video. It was called Ghetto Theme. It was been released since what 1993. The video was dedicated to in the memory of Michael Mac Robinson. You know what I mean? In Stretch, this guy was an American rapper and record producer who was working in Live Squad. That was a group that he was starting with you guys, along with him, DJ Kalo, and there's his brother Majesty, his brother. Uh, DJ Kalo and Majesty, they're like his brothers. Info Minds had an interview with Stretch's brother Majesty. You know what I mean? I heard everything. I heard the interview because I mean everybody else, people at Info Minds know how much Majesty misses his brother. He missed his brother. Okay, It's been like the past 28 fucking years ever since ever since this man have died. But in the early 1990s, Stretch Stretch joined Tupac Shakur's rap group Thug Life, Thuglife. The hate you give little infants fucks everyone. The November 30th, 1994 shooting of Shakur led to their split. On November 30th, 1995, that was like a 1 year anniversary of the uh, the robbing and shooting of Shakur Walker was shot and killed at the age of 27. We're going to the Live Squad for a minute. Randy Walker. He was born in 1968 in Springfield Garden, Queens, New York, to an African American father and a Jamaican immigrant mother. Randy had a younger brother and two sisters. His father, had died in the early 1980s, 1981, and his mother Lucilda was a nurse at the NYU Medical Center. That means New York University Medical Center. In the late 1980s, that's 1987, Randy dubbed Stretch and his brother Christopher, dubbed as Majesty, teamed with Kalo, the DJ named as DJ Kalo. That's what they're teaming up with, forming forming this group is called the Live Squad. In 1988, there was both rapping and producing it. Uh, Live Squad debut with an EP. It's a title called BQ. That means for like, I don't know, for Bronx and Queens. I don't even know of. It was BQ in full effect. It was which was featuring a man named Percy P, who happened to be an American rapper from the Bronx. It includes the tracks called Troopin' It. It's called Troopin' It and We Ain't Having It. Yeah, it's the songs he did. Troopin' It and We Ain't Having It. Noteworthy is Stretch's voice, that deep and raspy voice. But in 1990, Stretch met Shock G, Gregory Edward Jacobs, uh, who was known professionally as Shock G and Humpty Hump. In I think it was in the Digital Underground. He was the leader. He was the lead vocalist of this Oakland-based rap group, Digital Underground. The Bay Area rap group's 1991 album, it featured Stretch on its track, the family of the underground, family of the underground. That year, Live Squad remixed the group's single "No Nose Job." Yes, word "No Nose Job." That summer, Stretch met underground ally Tupac Shakur. He met Tupac Shakur. He met him at that period. The two became fast friends. They became fast friends, and like, back in the histories, back in the old days and all that. I feel around 91, what they met. You know what I'm saying? Rapping his February 1992. That's what the guy was. The guy was rapping. His February 1992 single, "If My Homie Calls," or "If My Homies Call." That's what Pac was, you know, rhyming on. If my homies call. That was on Yo MTV Raps. Uh, Tupac. Tupac was backed by Stretch, friend and host, friend of host Ed Lover. Ed Lover's best friends with Stretch. You know what I mean? Ed Lover and Stretch, both of these guys were like best friends in New York. Why did he back this guy? All because Stretch's friendship with Ed Lover, Ed Lover, who was hosting the Yo MTV Raps show, who was praising Live Squad's demo tape and taking the what is it, the executive producer, quote unquote. It was credit on the releases, on its releases. Helped Live get signed to Tommy Boy Records. Let me tell you about Tommy Boy Records. Uh, Tom Silver had founded and owned that record label in the early 1980s. Okay, the label is already credited with helping and launching the music careers of people like Queen Latifah. You know what I mean? You got Amber, you got Africa Bambata, Stessa Sonic, and Digital Underground. Guys like people like K7, they were at the label. Too. Naughty by Nature was already at the label. So in 1992, Live Squad released a double A side, Murderer slash Heartless, followed by single Game of Survival Pump for a Living. That's the other single that came out. It's called Game of Survival Pump for a Living. Yeah, Pump for a Living. But in 1993, Live Squad released a ultra violent promo short film for that single, Game of Survival, on a VHS video cassette tape, showcasing 6 songs from the uh, it was from through the group's forthcoming album. But in June of that year, national outrage broke out over the Los Angeles area's original gangster rapper Tracy Ice T Marrow, his side project, his rock band Body Count's album of heavy metal with its track that was from the album Cop Killer. But it was like the radio EP that was for it. That was for the song Cop Killer. You see the radio EP right here? It has the radio EP. It says Body Count. It says Body Count, the radio LP. But that was parental advisory sticker else. That was the sticker that was already on there was a parental advisory sticker. So Tommy Boy favoring radio friendliness. That's what they did. They favoring the radio friendliness and dropped Live Squad and shelving the album. Why would Tommy Boy start favoring the radio friendliness over Live Squad and they start dropping them and start shelving the album? They don't make no sense. All because this shit that happened with Warner Brothers and all this bullshit that happened in the 90s. There's always gotta be some shit going on with them already. Like there's always gotta be some shit going on because of Ronald Ray Howard killed a DPS state trooper in Texas. It has something else to fucking do with Ronald Ray Howard killing a cop. It has something to do with this fucking guy killing a cop in Texas. Okay, it shit's bad. The shit's bad because of all of it. You know what I'm saying? That's why they did all this, man. Tommy Boy Records, Tommy Boy Records, they start favoring the radio friendliness and they start dropping Live Squad and showing their album. That's the way. It don't make no sense. All because of the bullshit that's going with Ice T and Body Count, Warner Brothers and all this bullshit. All it's because of all it's for a fucking guy that killed a cop. It don't make no sense. I'm gonna move on from all this bullshit. This Time Warner satire criticism. All this shit's been uh involving Warner Brothers Records and and the president of the fucking label and Body Count and Ice T. They go drop this man from the fucking label. Shit. It's all because of Cop Killer. That's gonna force Ice to fucking uh pull the record from it. You know what I mean? Which that he said in the press conference. Let me see what I can do. What Stretch is doing. What Stretch is doing. Where he's teaming up with Tupac, the rebellious gangster rapper who was raised by the Panthers and this when it's strung out. It's strung out. While Tupac Shakur filmed his breakthrough role in Juice as Bishop, Stretch and Tretch of the rap group Naughty by Nature. Before it was Naughty by Nature, they were known as this rap group, this American hip hop trio called New Style in the 80s, in the 1980s. You know what I'm saying? That was before Naughty by Nature. Uh these guys were like extras. These guys were like extras once Tupac especially Tupac Shakur's trailer was robbed of some jewelry. Some jewelry. They started delivering a beats down. They delivered a beat down on the set in late 1991 after the studio recordings, live shows, and television appearances with Stretch. Tupac put out his debut album. It was called Tupacalypse Now. This is his debut album that was about to be released in around October, around late 1991, I think. Let me tell you about this album. This album's been released since late 1991. I think it's like a debut studio album that it came from him. It was by him. Interscope Records and TNT Recordings had released this album that was on November 12th, 1991. This was a month after the bullshit that happened with him getting beaten up by OPD. They scarred this man's face up and they just arrested him. They almost killed him, almost about to kill him. They tried to put this man in the chokehold. They snatched him up and they locked his ass up. They locked his ass up. What? Jaywalking? They locking him up for what? Jaywalking? That was gonna lead to Tupac. That's led to Tupac to go have a press conference and later he sued the OPD, Oakland Police Department. He ain't got no beef with the LAPD. He got beef with the OPD. His beef is not with the LAPD. His beef is with the OPD, Oakland Police Department in California. Okay, that's the reason why he sued them. So he brought Charles Fuller along with him. He was an extra, not extra. He was there for the Brenda's Got a Baby video. You know what I'm saying? It's based on this young 12-year-old girl. I think it's based off of a newspaper. It's based from the LA Times newspaper. Now it's all based on a true story. And it was about this 12-year-old girl named Brenda who was about to dump her baby and then leave it in the garbage. Then this guardian angel from the streets Pac. Pac comes out and rescues the baby that the little girl had threw in the garbage. He holds on to this little baby and caresses this little baby, and nursed it back to health. That's all it does. So it has his commentary that was on contemporary social issues facing American society, such as racism and police brutality and poverty and all sorts of shit. But he did put but Pac did put out his album. Pac is like the revolutionary type of thug. He's like a gangster. So he did what he had to do. He put out his own debut album. No, the dude was in digital. Dude was in digital underground, and he's going out solo with his debut album. It was called Tupacalypse Now. It had 2 tracks that was there. It's only in like 13 tracks already. Those 2 tracks out of 13 tracks. It was including, crooked ass nigga. It might have Easy's voice there. It says criminal behavior, where Stretch produces and raps. Unable to put a track on original motion picture soundtrack of the movie Juice. Tupac saw his I'm gonna tell you about Tupac. He saw his album sell modestly, but Juice's release in 1992, it was about to be out in theaters around between fucking January to March of that year. Let me find Juice. Let me pull the window. Hold on. Let me pull the window. Yep, Juice is a 1992 American crime thriller film directed by a man named Ernest R. Dickerson. Ernest R. Dickerson, and written by Dickerson and Gerard Brown. A man named Gerard Brown. It stars Omar Epps, Tupac Shakur. Yes, Tupac Shakur. Uh, Jermaine Huggy Hopkins, and Khalil Kane. This is before he guest appeared on Living Single a couple of times. This man be appearing on Living Single a couple of times after he was featured in Juice. Let me pull that window back. Pull it back. Unable to put a track on Juice's soundtrack. Yeah, let me explain this. Unable to put a track on Juice's soundtrack. Tupac Tupac have saw his album sell modestly, but the release of Juice in 1992 sent his star on the rise. In 1993, his second album, Strictly for My NIGGAZ, found the Live Squad producing and featured on on a song called it's called Struggling, while featured along with Tretch from Naughty by Nature and rapper Apache. Apache was who had to be Anthony Peaks. That's his real name. Apache was behind doing a song. Apache was doing a song called I think it was called Gangsta Bitch. was called Gangsta Bitch. I think he did a song that was for like, I think the song was probably, I don't know where that song came from. I was supposed to fit on Poetic Justice. I don't even know. I heard Pac rapping. I mean, Pac rapped. Pac was singing Apache's song through Poetic Justice while he was driving was just driving the mail truck. A California U.S. Postal Service mail truck. You know what I'm saying? But it's while featured along with Tretch and rapper Apache, Anthony Chris, and Anthony Peaks on the five Daily Venoms. Five Daily Venoms. The last song that was for. It was a 16 track album that was produced by Stretch. By Stretch. The songs were produced by him. You know what I'm saying? And who had produced more tracks, two more tracks that Stretch have done, like The Streets or Death Row, and featuring Live Squad, Holla If You Hear Me, Holla If You Hear Me, and Stretch Stretch made Stretch made cameo appearances in the music videos that was for Mac Mall's song Ghetto Theme, and Tupac have directed this video too, and song. And in 1993, for the Above the Law, Money B and Tupac song called "Call It What You Want." He appeared in movies. He appeared in movies. Ed Lover and Dr. Dre's 1993 film. It was a film that was 1993. It's called "Who's the Man." See, it's "Who's the Man." Tupac was featured in that movie, bro. I gotta find who's the man or something. I don't even know if I had to find it on Tubi. Shit, not find out for myself. Even after I get through with the shit. Who's the Man? That film, the film that Ed Lover and Dr. Dre have have already had Pac being featured on. Uh, and the movie, there was the final movie that Pac did, and it was out of like after I think like what in like late 1996. It was out like what October of '96, I think. It's called. It was a film that's called. I feel it was a film that's called Bullet. He was working alongside guys like Mickey Rourke, Donnie Wahlberg, Donnie Wahlberg. Everybody remember him from New Kids on the Block. Adrian Brody, Ted Levine, who was in the movie, and John Enos the second, not the John Enos the second, John Enos the third. John Enos the third. Let me explain about John Enos. This guy was already been in fucking films and goddamn soap operas and all. He been in soap operas and in TV shows and shit. I don't even know why he been on a bunch of films and shit. But whatever, man. I'm gonna stick with the game plan. With the game plan that I'm gonna get on. In March 1994, on the Arsenio Hall show, Tupac, Tupac and Stretch performed a song called "Pain," a track that was on the Above the Rim soundtrack. Uh, its only cassette version, and its only cassette version, and it's merely a single B side, but swiftly a rap favorite. We're going to to where had with Thug Life, Tupac Shakur's group, the group that Tupac had formed with a couple of people. It was him and a couple of people. I found what Thug Life was about. One, yeah, that group was put together by Tupac and Fielders. It said the same thing. Yeah, Charles Fuller and Babes. Yeah, Charles Fuller and Babes, man. They're the ones that did they ones that put that group together, along with Pac and Big Psych and others. Macadocious, Mac 10, Rated R, Mo Preem, and all of them, man. But in 1992, what rapper Tyrus Gerald Himes, Big Psych, Tupac, and Stretch, they recorded Thug Life. They recorded Thug Life. In 1993, that song is still unreleased to this day. Tupac had expanded the group and named it Thug Life. It was been around since around between 92 93. It was formed. It was formed at that time. And it got on Interscope Records. It's Interscope Records, an American record label that was based in Santa Monica, California. And the UMG have already owned that record label. It was through the imprint of Interscope, uh, Geffen A&M, releasing in 1994 the group's only album, Thug Life, Thug Life Volume One. Stretch produced and rapped on the song Thug Music. It's THUG Music. Thug. Let me just call it the Thug Music. Thug Music. That's for thugs. It's Thug Music. Amid controversy over the lyrics, the label cut Out on Bail, which Tupac and Stretch performed at the '94 Source Awards. It was held at the Paramount Theater in NYC, New York, on April the 25th, 1994. I did not even know it was aired in April of '94. Anyway, and Running from the Police. That's right. It was a song that Tupac had did with Biggie, Stretch, and Dramacidal, and Buju Banton. Buju Banton. I think they officially recorded that song together back in like what 1993. I think it was for this unreleased demo tape, this unreleased demo uh tape album was called Out on Bail. They had a song Out on Bail on the unreleased demo tape that Pac and Thug Life put together. Oh, Running from the Police, featuring Biggie Smalls. That's the Notorious B.I.G. Rest in peace. In 1993, Tupac Tupac met Biggie, a promising young rapper from Brooklyn, New York. On his visit to California, Tupac Tupac supported and mentored him, prospective member of Thug Life. Yeah, yeah, the member of Thug Life. During 1993, Life Squad, Tupac, Tupac, Biggie, and Biggie, that's one, two guys. Life Squad, Life Squad, Tupac, and Biggie performed a joint set at Maryland's Bowie State University in Prince George's County, Maryland. And yeah, it was a town in Maryland, Prince George's County. That was in that was somewhere from a few miles from Baltimore, where Pac used to stay. Where Pac used to stay with his mom. With his mom, his dad, who's later lived in that in Maryland, lived in that state. Billy Garland, and recorded "House of Pain," an unreleased for Biggie's debut album. It was for Biggie's debut album. It was for Biggie Small's debut album in the making. Biggie's debut album had arrived without the song "House of Pain," but in 1994, as Ready to Die, this album here, Ready to Die. It's called Ready to Die. My dad used to have me riding with him in the car, and he started bumping that album. He started bumping that album. It was playing the tape in the car. The alliance was severed. The alliance was severed through the events on the night of November 30th, 1994, at the Times Square building. The Times Square building of Quad Recording Studios. Quad Recording Studios. They said it was Times Square. It wasn't even Manhattan. It was in Times Square. In late 1994, Tupac Tupac was reportedly hired by a fledgling music manager who goes by the name of James Roseman. They call him Jimmy Henchman. He was an old cellmate of the late Kelvin Darnell Martin. Okay, to record a verse for rapper Lil Sean, Tyrone Sean Wilkins. It's a song here. It was a song called Dom Perignon. Dom Perignon. Why would you want this? Why would this man? Why would he get hired by henchmen to record a verse with that was for Tyrone Sean Wilkins's single Dom Perignon. Dom Perignon. Okay, the single that was from Lil Sean, who had to be Tyrone Sean Wilkins. Uh, but Pac had arrived with Stretch and two other guys. It happened to be Zayd, his brother-in-law, Zayd Turner, his brother-in-law who was in a relationship with Sechua. That could be Sechua's boyfriend. And another guy that came with him, if it was Freddie Miller or Freddie Moore, probably Frederick Moore, I think. If it's Frederick Moore or Frederick Miller. I couldn't tell. Probably Frederick Miller or Frederick Moore. Probably Frederick. I'm gonna say a guy's name was Frederick. Fucking reporters started calling this man a bodyguard, or the guy is a manager. a road manager. Okay, so they reportedly found rapper James Lloyd Jr. James not James Lloyd Jr. James Lloyd. They reportedly found James Lil Cease Lloyd, a member of the Bad Boy record label's circle, uh, by a by a Biggie side group, by a Biggie Small side group, Junior Mafia. It happened to be an American hip hop group that he just formed, that he just formed and mentored. Watching the sidewalk from above and greeting them in the lobby, three men pulled pistols and robbed Tupac. They robbed Tupac, who is resisting. He was shot 5 times. Boom, 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 boom. 5 times shot. Suspecting a shooting as a primary motive, Tupac Tupac pointed to, among others, including uh, henchman whose real name was Roseman, Biggie, whose real name was Christopher Wallace. Everybody remember this shit when he got arrested with uh with Charles Fuller and a couple other guys for the sexual assault of Ayanna Jackson in November uh 19th, 1993. He got arrested by two detectives from the NYPD. They locked his ass up for the sexual assault. Him, Charles Fuller, and I don't know, it was a couple of guys. Yeah, yeah. Pac Pac had pointed to, among other guys, like Henchman and Biggie. He said he was blaming Henchman and Jacques Agnant, who's known as Haitian Jack, who's had to be Haitian Jack, Jacques Agnant. The dude was a Haitian-born music executive and promoter in the rap music industry. Yeah, as well as a convicted felon and accused rapist. Oh, he's a rapist too. He probably got arrested along with Tupac and Charles Fuller, some other guy, late 1993, late 1993. Shit. Yeah, but what Pac would do? Pac is blaming, among other people. He blamed Henchman and Akhenaten for the setup. Tupac, he would probably accuse Biggie of withholding the prior knowledge. The day after the shooting happened, Tupac was. Let me tell you about this man. About this man. The day after the shooting happened, Tupac Shakur was convicted in a Manhattan court of sexual assault. That's what he was known to do. But he never even raped anybody. This man was innocent. This man was innocent. Why this man get convicted and then get his life ripped apart for some reason? But on early 1995, it was on February 14th. Uh, he was sentenced to at least a year and a half in prison. But in March, Tupac, his third album, Me Against the World, this is his third album here. It's his third album here. It was being released by Interscope and Out the Gutter Records. That was distributed by the Atlantic Records label. Yeah, he'd been drawing lyrical inspiration from his impending prison sentence. He about to do a bid in prison. He could put a he probably could have did a bid in prison. It was released with Stretch removed from its track. So Many Tears. But in a jailhouse interview published in April, Tupac, let me explain it to you. Tupac is discussing the November 30th, 1994. Yeah, the November 30th, 1994 shooting and robbery. And Stretch incidentally taller than him. He was taller than him. He's like incidentally like what 6 foot 8 inches tall. He's taller than the dude. This is what he reflected in the interview. Yeah, he said, I was like, what should I do? I'm thinking Stretch is going to fight. He was towering over those niggas. Yeah. He said this. I was like, what should I do? I'm thinking Stretch is going to fight. He was towering over those niggas. He was towering over those niggas. For what I know about the criminal element, if niggas come to rob you, they always hit the big nigga first. They will always hit the big nigga first. But they didn't touch Stretch. They came straight to me. In the interview, Tupac Tupac had reflected. This is what he said, you know, in a Source magazine uh page here that he reflecting. Stretch was my closest dog, my closest homie. I did a lot of drama. I got into a lot of cases and shit because of Stretch. Money wise, money wise, he could have had anything. His daughter was my daughter. Whatever she wanted, she could have. Then this shit happened, and the nigga didn't ride for me. He didn't do what your dog is supposed to do. When you shot up, I was in jail. Nigga never wrote me, never guided me. His homeboys his homeboys was coming to see me, and he wasn't coming to see me. He started hanging around Biggie. He started hanging around Biggie. Right after this, I'm in jail, shot up. His main dog, and he hanging out with he hanging out, going to shows with Biggie. Both these niggas never came to see me. That came from March. It came from March 1996. It came from March 1996 Source magazine interview that Pac had done. No strong evidence ever emerged to implicate Stretch in the crime publicly responding. Stretch contended. Stretch had contended. Pac saying all this shit in the interview, like, I thought that Stretch was gonna fight. He was towering over them. He was towering over them. Now that nigga, no, I ain't I ain't never going out like no bitch. He said this. As he said his words. Now that nigga know I ain't never going out like no bitch. But I ain't dumb. I ain't got no gun. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I might be towering over niggas, but I ain't towering over no slugs. Some reporting suggested forensics evidence that Tupac had shot himself. Stretch offered. He ain't shot himself. That man ain't never shot himself. Fuck. The safety must have went off on him. He ain't never shot himself. Stretch had offered, like me personally, I only heard one shot. Tupac Tupac got shot trying to go for his shit. He tried to go for his gun, and he made a mistake on his own. But I'll let him tell the world that he tried to turn around and pull the joint out real quick, but niggas caught him. Niggas caught him, grabbed his hand, grabbed his hand when it was by his waist. That's all the dumb shit that he's been saying. Come on, man. Me and Pac, he said this. Stretch said this in '95 for Buy Magazine. He said, "Me and Pac had been down from day one before he did Juice, before he did Juice, before his first album. That's my man. So the interview he did in Vibe bugged me out, but I know him. He likes to talk a lot, especially when he's upset. He'll say that shit. He'll say shit that he won't even mean, and then he'll think about it later and be like, damn, why the fuck did I say that in that interview? Pac was talking all that shit about thug life is ignorance, and telling niggas names and all that shit. I don't understand. I don't even understand why he went there. I've seen Pac mad times after the shooting. He never kicked none of that shit to me. You know how he feels about the media. So why would he go out? Let's play this. This what Stretch had, this is what Stretch had told the Vibe. You know how he feels. You know how he feels about the media. So why would he go and do an interview like that? He's supposed to be a street nigga. Yeah, as we said this. He's supposed to be a street nigga. He should have kept it in the street. I mean, niggas had to go and get their names changed. I want him to get a reality check. That's what he says. I want him to get a reality check. Recognize what the fuck he's doing. That's what he said. That's the keys. Recognize what the fuck he's doing. Niggas on the street, live by rules, man. And that rule right there, that's a rule that's never to be broken. This came from Stretch. That's all that shit that Stretch was telling. That's all that shit that Stretch was telling him. It was a long fucking interview thing. That's a long thing that he just read to the people at Vibe. Look, this is what he told the people at Vibe magazine in 1995. Let me explain this shit. William Bill Courtney. William Bill Courtney, retired NYPD officer, once with his infamous hip hop squad suggested that the stick up answered Tupac Shakur's comments, published in New York's Daily News, about Jimmy Henchman's associate, Haitian Jack, big in the Queens nightlife scene and criminal underworld. Haitian Jack and two other men had been indicted with Tupac. with Tupac for the November 19th, 1993 sexual assault on a woman. That young woman, that young woman's name is Ayanna Jackson. She has a name. She has a name. In the hotel room of Tupac, hotel room of Tupac Shakur, where he was convicted on December the 1st, 1994. By then, Haitian Jack had taken a misdemeanor plea of the plea deal of for what, no jail time, and the newspaper published Tupac Shakur's gripe. It publishes the gripe of Tupac. The one-time hip hop squad officer hazards a message was being sent to him, not to name drop Jimmy Henchman. Jimmy Henchman has since commented, nobody came to rob you. They came to discipline you. But on June the 15th, 2011, the day, on June 20, June, oh, no, what's it here? 2011, that's on June 15th, 2011, the day before what would have been Tupac Shakur's 40th birthday. It could have been the 40th birthday of Tupac Shakur, like June 15th. His his birthday's coming up on June 16th, 2011. Dexter Isaac, he was a known criminal. He was a known criminal. He was a known criminal, known uh known stick up guy. I don't even know who he was. The accent did not fit the description. Height did not fit the description. None of that shit. Okay. Dexter Isaac. He has been imprisoned for murder. He is sent to the MDC in Brooklyn, New York. To allhiphop.com, a confession uh, that Isaac had stated that he had been one of the men who in November 1994 robbed and shot Tupac at Jimmy Henchman's behest. Oh, now he acted like he had something to do with it, but he ain't had nothing to do with the shooting. He ain't had nothing to do with the shooting. He wasn't even at the studio. It was some guys. It was some 18 niggas. It's some 18 niggas coming to rob Pac. There was Frederick, there was Zayd, and there's Stretch. That happened. That shit fucking tore my ass up. It tore my ass up, bro. It's bad enough that I had to deal with and had to hear the bullshit that came out of the mouth. I didn't want to go watch the interview or hear about this man. Because the man just lied so fucking much. The man lied so motherfucking much. He trying to act like he played his own position in he had something to do with all of it. He talk about he's in a Mazda and all this bullshit. He's in a car and all this bullshit. Biggie started rapping about the fucking shit. He's rapping about the fucking Mazda MPB in the song. Like, what is it? Was the friend of mine from Ready to Die? I heard the song. He mentioned the MPB in the fucking song. But whatever, man. I gotta find out what's going on with the death shit. On October the 12th, 1995, with the bond posted by Suge Knight, the CEO, the former CEO of Death Row Records, and pending appeal, Tupac was released from prison in upstate New York. The upstate New York prison, I feel it's called Clinton Correctional. That's called Clinton Correctional Facility, right there. It's the same prison that had the interview, that televised interview that take place in that same year. This was after he signed a contract. But joining the label in L.A., Tupac Tupac had let me tell you about Tupac. Tupac had feverishly recorded his fourth album. That was for Death Row and Interscope. They'll been out between Christmas 1996 through early Christmas 1995 to like early 1996. It's called All Eyes on Me. Two tracks in particular, like Ambitions as a Rider, yeah, as well as Holla at Me. It was an attack on Stretch trying to holler at one of Tupac Shakur's girlfriends, Desiree Smith. A woman who goes by the name of Desiree Smith. Okay, it was him and some Junior Mafia, a couple of members of Junior Mafia, and some guys from Brooklyn. They came to that woman apartment to go holler at her. Pac is like irate. Pac is irate. You know what I mean? About his old friend uh, had had came to see Desiree with Junior Mafia members and some guys from Brooklyn. So let me explain this shit. The two tracks in a particular note, Ambitions as a Rider, as well as Holla at Me. It was attack. I mean, he did Stretch with that song. It was a diss on Stretch. That was for Stretch trying to holla at Desiree with Junior Mafia members and some dudes from Brooklyn. It had lyrics that some people have believed, though not have proven it to be against Stretch, one envisioning his death. By the album, by the album's release, by the album's released on February 13th, 1996, Stretch was already dead. Few months, released a few months later, in July of 1996. July of 1996, the sophomore album, it was written by rapper Nas. Pac had already met him. I think Pac had met him at a show. Hold on. Let me open it up again. Nas. Pac had met Nas at a July of 1993 concert. Okay. Hold on. Let me tell you about this shit. It was written. Okay, it was by Nas, rapper who came from Queensbridge. It's Queensbridge. Uh, that's the housing projects that was located from Queensbridge in Queens, New York. Uh, it had live squad production on two tracks like "Taken in Blood" as well as "Silent Murder" from Stretch's final recording session, exactly like 1 year after the November 30th, 1994 shooting of Tupac. On November 30th, 1995, Stretch was on his way to a Biggie Smalls event. Pac already talked about his interview. Niggas is like abandoning him. Shit. After leaving the Nas recording session at midnight, he dropped off his own brother Majesty, uh, that was from the Live Squad, at his Queens Village home. Nas was about to ride with these guys then, but two or three men in a black car pulled up besides Stretch's green minivan. They pulled up beside a green minivan that was like driven by Stretch. They might be some dudes. It might be some dudes from Blood set. It probably two or three Blood gang members, bro. I'll never know. And they gave chase and firing from a roll down window. Stretch Stretch had crashed at 112th Avenue and 209th Street. Yeah, yeah, he crashed. He crashed at 112th Avenue and 209th Street just after just after 12:30 a.m. in the morning. He was found dead. He was found dead with 4 bullets to his back. In one theory, Stretch had robbed a big drug dealer over 10 bricks of, despite the purest pressure on the street. He refused to return over those 10 kilograms of cocaine, and this is why a hit was issued in April of 2007 by a separate investigation into the murder of Jam Master Jay of Run DMC in his native Jamaica, Queens. Federal prosecutors, well, Jamaica, Queens. I think 50 Cent was I think he stayed in that town that was in New York. The federal prosecutors named a man named Tinad, I think, or Danet, guys who goes by the name of Tinad. His name Tinad, whose real name was Ronald Tinad Washington. Well, let's say his name is Ronald Washington. They call him Tinad as a suspect in like both homicides, both murders. After Tupac Shakur's what was it say what I do? After Tupac after Tupac Shakur's death in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas, Nevada, in September of 1996, a Live Squad production track, the track called Nothing to Lose. It appeared on the posthumous Tupac album released in 1997. Are you still down? Are you still down? Remember me. That's what it says. Are you still down? Remember me. Released in that year, in '97. Released in '97. Greatest hits. That's the Tupac album. Greatest hits. It has Hit 'em Up and some shit in it. Troublesome. '96. It got added in the album too. It has the cryptic "God Bless the Dead," dedicated to Biggie Smalls. It was dedicated to Biggie Smalls. But not the famed Live Squad and one-time Tupac associate Biggie Smalls, who was otherwise called the Notorious B.I.G., and instead a Latino rapper who had worked with one of the main producers had Tupac had met Johnny Johnny Lee Jackson, rest in peace, uh was known as Johnny J. He's Mexican. They say he's Latino. They say, you know, they say he's Mexican. But in 1999, a promotional release for the Notorious B.I.G.'s posthumous album Born Again. It has a bad boy remix of House of Pain. Why didn't he just add the shit into the album then? But they forgot. They forgot to add it in. They forgot to add that shit in. Uh, the Born Again album has a bad boy remix of House of Pain. It was featuring Stretch, and Tupac. Majesty, who was Stretch's brother, was a brother of Stretch. Founded a record label called Grand Imperial Records. Jointly with the late Eric was it E Moneybags? The late E Moneybags. E Moneybags was buddies with Biggie. Okay, Majesty had founded a record label with E Moneybags, who he was later killed in July of 2001, allegedly by order of a man named Kenneth McGriff. Kenneth McGriff. There's Kenneth McGriff. There's a picture of. I'm gonna have to pull this. I may pull this window again. On. There's a picture of Kenneth McGriff. They call him Supreme. He has seen this picture with Ja Rule. I'll tell you about this man. This a picture of him. There's a picture of Kenneth Supreme McGriff. There's a picture of him, being seen with rapper Jeffrey Atkins. They call him Ja Rule. A suspect, a suspect behind the murder of Jam Master Jay in October 30th, 2002. But before 2002, I was in 2001, Majesty released the Live Squad album that Tommy Boy Records had nixed, Game of Survival. There's all the shit that's there. That's from the 80s, 90s. All the shit that was all the shit that he did, they already did that. They already did that before. They already did all this shit too. They did with raw fusion and digital and, you know what I mean, rhythm and bass, Pod, Apache, Tretch, Mopreem. They got remixes and all this shit too. No, that's already been seen. It's all posthumous stuff. So I gotta find out why would they have all this shit there in the discography and I ain't even had a chance to read this shit. Because I don't want to do it, I don't want to keep stretching it up like it did in the other video that I did with based on the story of Tina Turner. I don't want to put myself through that shit. Seriously, it's too much. But I'm gonna explain it to y'all. I'm gonna finish this thing up. See y'all in another video. Start with me playing Far Cry 6 again. Hold on. But this is the live show that I'm doing. It's called The Legacy of Randy Stretch Walker, the untold story of Randy Stretch Walker. Randy Stretch Walker. Uh but this live show is dedicated into the memoriam of Randy Walker, aka Stretch, born on August the 21st, 1968, died in November 30th, 1995. We'll see you on the other video, cause I'll catch up with y'all on the other video tonight. See you on the next video tonight. I'm waiting till it get dark.